Descendants was a unique experience because that was our first show
Back from COVID.
coming out of COVID. We haven't done a large scale show in like 3 years almost. We were in a new rehearsal space. That was my first large scale show directing. So it was us in this new space and not knowing what our turnout was going to be. When we finally got that first show done, just looked at them and I hugged them and I started getting emotional because I was like, we did it, and seeing the reactions, you know, we all came together. And I think that's the great thing about this program too, is that everyone wanted to make it work.
That was my first
show.
time producing a big show. We lost a very key member of our organization. She was a founding member, and she was the one that produced all of the school shows for 20 plus years.
But you survived, you broke the ice, you made it happen.
And then the last show, it was an overwhelming feeling of, okay, we did it, we're back.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Richard Fortin Presents. So happy to have you back. Today is a special day. I got two guests, but we're going to talk about one great organization called Dreamcoat Fantasy Theatre. And right here I have Darren Summersby, who is well known around this little corner here for all sorts of reasons. But Darren is somebody who's participated in Dreamcoat events for like his whole life. I've seen the pictures on the website. And we have Michelina Beam. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Yay, Michelina Beam, who is an organizer who's been involved from the very beginning, who I'm really honored to have here with us today to talk about this beautiful organization in the 25th year.
Yes.
You made it.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Can you tell me, you've been involved for quite a few of those years.
Yes, 20-ish. Yes, that's 2001.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about the 25th year and what's going on to celebrate and bring people together and support the Dreamcoat Theatre?
Yeah, we're celebrating 25 years and over 90 productions of musical theatre with North Bay area, so that's very exciting. Our focus is theatre for children by children. That's actually our mission. And so our focus from day to day for our productions is on children's programming, but we do family shows. So this exciting year of our 25th year, we produced 2 large-scale shows at the Capitol Centre in the fall. And we had a spring show that just passed in May, which brought us to a full year of programming since COVID, which we are so excited about. And this was a great tie-in to our 25 years. And in June, on the 22nd of June, we're having a 25th anniversary gala at the Best Western. And it's a full day of Songathon, karaoke Songathon, where people can come in, just drop in, sign up, sing some musical theater tunes. We're going to have wall-to-wall displays in a big part of the lobby area and a couple of the rooms of the Best Western. So we'll have all kinds of paraphernalia and props and set pieces and costumes and posters and T-shirts, and people can come in, take a picture, see all the stuff, read some information, and then that evening we're going to celebrate with a GALA Dinner, and we're going to have some people speaking just to kind of take us on a big walk down memory lane, some people performing some songs, and then we have a special band that's going to be performing for the rest of the evening, and they are sort of a throwback to about 10 years ago when we did our Nikki and Nino Get Married. So it's the same band has reconvened, and they will be taking us into the wee hours.
Isn't it amazing how many people come together to make this type of organization and these types of events happen?
Yes. Yeah, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, but it's also very rewarding because you keep coming back, you keep doing more. Just before we started rolling, you were saying that it's remarkable how many of the shows you've seen from behind the stage and
most of them,
not from where the audience sits, because you're usually doing costume changes in these things.
Yeah.
Now, Darren, you've been on both sides, on all sides probably of everything Dreamcoat over the years.
Yeah, since 2006, I think, was the first show, and I was just a wee little guy, and I think almost every show since I've either been in or I've volunteered, either come in for tech week just to help do lights or sound, or I've stage managed or directed. So yeah, I've really been kind of all around in all aspects of it.
Videotaped things.
Yeah, videotape the show. If I'm not involved with steering, can you come film the show? So
hey, I know you're away at school.
Every show, I would come home just for a show to come film it. So it's Yeah, ever since the beginning, I just keep coming back because, I mean, it's so hard to say no to them for everything they've done to me and the experiences I got. I got to do what I can to give back.
Yeah, it's not great. So Dreamcoat really has helped you develop and grow, and you're growing with them, and you keep
Yeah.
collaborating.
Like, not even with just the skills on stage, but off stage too. Like, there's so many of us that we have taken those skills and brought them out, to become leaders within the community. And I think that's really important because we take those skills of being able to go up on stage in front of 1,000 people and sing and dance, and now I can go in front of a crowd and give a speech, and it's nothing for me. So all these skills that you get from being on stage, it's crazy what you can do and bring them into your everyday life.
Yeah, so for people who might want to support this kind of thing, what would you say? Would you say that's the thing that it's most helped you with, is just help you grow up, have good activities to go to because you do like 4 shows a year some years. I mean, it's a lot of...
We were up to 5.
You were up to 5, but on average around 3 or 4, right?
Yeah.
And so is that what you think is the magic of Dreamcoat? Or what do you think makes Dreamcoat unique?
Well, I think there is that aspect to it that you don't realize you're getting. Like, as a kid, you're there to sing and dance and hang out with your friends and put on the show, and it's really cool. And then as I grew up, I kind of realized, wow, I learned so many skills from this that, I'm thankful for that because I was learning. It was such a experience to learn so much about myself too. And when I'm able to do outside that, I was playing around with my friends, and yet I learned so many things about myself that I think that's a really important thing, and people don't realize that there's that great part of theater. It's not just going and you're singing and dancing, you're learning so many valuable life skills.
Yeah, that's true. Probably for a lot of the arts. Is that why you continue to be involved and helpful? Because I imagine your kids now, when you started, it was because your kids were involved.
We're little,
but now they're probably beyond that.
It was a pretty immediate thing that we saw, the confidence building for kids. My son was so shy, like he was that child that sat in the corner at recess and, and he wasn't interested in being involved in any sports. And when we got him involved in theater, it was immediate. His grade 4 teacher came up to us and said, not even in parent-teacher interviews, he just we were somewhere one day and he says, Jesse got up and did a presentation for medieval, whatever they were studying, and he said, he really noticed a difference just in his ability to communicate and do those presentations. My second son wasn't so interested in being on stage, but because we didn't have a babysitter, we dragged him to rehearsal, and he actually would help the set builder all through rehearsal, and now he's building sets for us. And involved stage managing. And then my daughter was young, and we again didn't have a babysitter, so she had to be in every show because we were there. So we really felt that we saw that from what it did for our kids, and then we saw so many examples for other people's children, and that was the really big part of staying involved, making sure that the company thrived and continued on. Because we really want to make sure that this was around and that it will be around for a long time for other people's children, because we really, really believe in what it does for children.
For something to last 25 years, it has to do something, and it needs the right people too, guiding it along, right? Like, this doesn't just happen by coincidence. It's a lot of work.
Yes. Yeah, we have a lot of great people involved in the community, whether they're staffing, volunteering, and the parents when they put their children in the program and they start to see all the work involved. We have so many that are so quick to jump in and say, how can we help? What can we do? And that takes us through.
I don't think every community the size of North Bay's has the strong theater presence everywhere. And I'm sure the Capitol Center being there has something to do with that.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because are all the performances at the Capitol Center?
No. Our large show performances, when we do our fall show.
Which is like 80-some people.
85 kids we'll have in our show. And the reason, we chose the Capitol Center in the first place was, it's a beautiful venue, obviously. And we definitely believe in what they're doing to support the arts and grow the arts. But it allows us in January for our shows to bring in schools and we will bus kids in for 3 full days of school performances. They'll perform, our cast performs in the morning and the afternoon. So there are more than 4,000 or 5,000 children that get to come to see the shows, and this may be their first introduction to performing arts. And so many of them are kind of wowed by it. We get a lot of children who join our program because they saw a show when they were in kindergarten or grade 1, and that's how we feel it continues. It builds a love of the arts because we're able to do this for the schools.
Is there something that surprises you when you do this type of initiative, when you do this kind of work, that you always, at the end of because so much goes into it, I'm sure stress leading up to the opening.
What?
Stress. It gets a little stressful from what I've experienced and seen, right? But then at the end of it, where you go, oh, that was all worth it. Is it when the crowd's clapping? Is it the development you see in the kids? What is it for you that...
Yeah, like for me now, as someone that did so many years of being in the shows, and now I'm directing the large scale shows with all these kids, I understand their excitement. Then for me on the other side, it's that stress of show week being, oh, is the show going to get done? Because you're adding all these elements to it. And then like that last rehearsal is always like, oh, are we going to be ready? And then that very first show where you hear that applause, you get almost a little emotional because you've went on this 4-month journey with these 85 kids that some of them have never been on stage before. And then you see them all come together and put on this great show. And it's, you see their excitement. It doesn't matter if the show is great or not. They always turn out fantastic, but it's when you see their reaction backstage, all like screaming with each other and all excited, like, oh, that was so fun. That's what makes it so important and why I love to keep coming back, because you look at that moment, after our first public performance when their parents go up and hug them and so proud of them, even though they might have been in the back corner, they watch their child the whole time, and it's just that thrill of that I knew that I got when I was on stage, and to see them share that with their parents, it's just, that's why you love it. You do it for that moment there. You put all that work into it for that one moment of that excitement for that child.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I guess you draw from kids from all over the city and region, right? Because this isn't associated to a school board or a school. It's fully independent. So it's structured as a not-for-profit?
Yeah, we're a registered charity, actually.
A registered charity. So when people buy their tickets for the gala, coming up on the 22nd of June at the Best Western, they get a tax receipt or something?
It's for a portion of it, because they're also purchasing a meal. It's a dinner, so that's the way it goes. But
And how do they get more information about where to get these tickets and support?
We have an event pinned on our Facebook page, Dreamcoat Fantasy Theatre. So if you go to Dreamcoat Fantasy Theatre, you'll find us. And there is a poster on our website that also has a little QR code attached to it. That you can scan, and it'll take you to the form to register for a ticket, and there's instructions and explanation and such attached to that.
Very good. So that's all about this gala, 25 years. We're celebrating. It's going to be fun. Plus there's karaoke all day and all these activities you mentioned. I mean, holy moly, you guys got a lot planned. What is it that somebody who might be listening to this, who might think their child would enjoy this? What's upcoming for the company that people can find out more information about or should be thinking about maybe for, what are we, summer?
So our summer program is actually full.
Yeah.
We started registering for it right after our fall winter show finished in January. And we have, the way our summer program works is we do 3 workshop weeks, so they're 1-week sessions. And that's mostly skill building and kind of geared towards kids who haven't had a lot of experience, or they've had experience and they want to get better. And we focus on things like auditioning workshops and teaching choreography and doing a little bit of scene work. And we have a chance to do some more one-on-one work with the kids when they're working on scenes. And then they do a little presentation for the parents at the end of the week. And then we have our 2-week, we call it our whirlwind, because we actually stage a full 1-act musical. The kids are in a day camp setting for 2 weeks, and they learn a full show with like 6 or 7 songs. And Darren's very familiar with this because he was in many of them, and then he was our director for about 3 summers doing them. And this last couple of years, we've actually been able to perform the show at the Capitol Centre, which is huge for us because our summer program used to run out of West Ferris. So the last week of July, first week of August, we'll be presenting our show at the Capitol Centre this year. And then hopefully by then we'll have some information to share about our fall programs.
That's very good. So basically hit the website. The summer's already full.
We are.
But for fall,
Yes.
if this is something that people should jump on and get the information, because obviously you have to, it's a hot item. you gotta get on it.
So our fall shows, there's an audition process.
Is there an audition for everything?
No.
Okay.
So our fall shows have an audition process because we get quite a few kids. I want to say it was 120, 110 last year. Yeah.
Incredible.
It was a lot. So that's, always the sad thing for us, right? That we can't take every child that comes out. But our spring show, our summer program are focused on skill building to help kids, through that. And those are essentially a different process. We mostly first come, first serve. You register for it, and you're in.
Awesome.
Yeah. So.
Well, Darren, you got in a bunch of times in your life. What is it that you think, after that experience in Dreamcoat and your journey in theater, that most? I mean, I'm sure there's friendships you still have.
My best friends are people I've met in theater, the people I hang out with, and I see them when we hang out, and then we're all on staff together because we all grew up. Like the people I work with on staff now are the people I was in shows with. So it's the friendships.
It's a real family.
It is a family. It's crazy. Like we would say theater, but all of my friends are the ones I grew up doing theater with, and we all come in, and now we're doing shows, and I think that's something that's really cool, especially with the summer program. I feel like has really changed towards it's all those people running the summer program now are the ones that were in Dreamcoat. Now we're starting to see this shift of, and we're almost in like a second wave now of kids that grew up doing Dreamcoat are the ones starting to, direct and stage manage and vocal direct.
The growth.
It's a crazy growth, and it's cool that now it's just kind of the cycle, and that's the importance of Dreamcoat is you start off as a young child and you grow up and you learn all these skills, and then now they're the ones running it, and now we're doing the next generation. It's going to keep going, and hopefully for the next 25 years and 25 years after that. And,
yeah. And
it's really cool.
Yeah, that's a really cool thing to see for us too, that have been around for a while, where we have kids who grew up in the program, and we sort of said, hey, do you want to come and volunteer? And that grew into more and more volunteering, and then working for us on staff. And the extra level of skill that we see building for leadership and confidence and organization, just all kinds of things, right? Why am I looking at you for organization? Darren's so organized.
I know.
Yeah. It's really, really wonderful to see. And when we are able to connect with those students who've grown up with us and then continue on.
And begging them to come home. Like, I know you moved from North Bay, but can you please come back and vocal direct for us? Or can you... It's because it's so great working with them.
And there's a level of, I want to say that we have a super huge confidence in those young people that come back, because we know that they grew up through the program. We know that they know what we're all about, and they're going to continue on our vision and our focus of children first, right?
And your culture,
yes,
right? The way
absolutely.
you operate.
That's always about the kids, and everything that we do focuses on that the kids are having fun and that they're learning, and we're not just there to put on a polished show because we're honestly looking at it as, when a kid comes backstage to us and says, this is the most fun I've ever had, it's like the best thing to hear. And just to reiterate what Darren said about that moment backstage, the first performance after a long rehearsal process and the last performance are like heart-wrenching. It's so wonderful.
Well, as somebody whose high school experience was transformed by being involved with theater, thank you on behalf of all those young
So good to hear.
people who get to learn about themselves and about their community and make friends because of the work you guys do behind the scenes. It's amazing. Anything that survives 25 years,
Yeah.
thumbs up. There's always ups and downs. Congratulations. And just, thank you on behalf of North Bay, because it is something unique to our community that I think makes, the community so much healthier, better, stronger, and all those things that we need. So thank you. Darren, did I miss anything? Is there anything we need to touch on before we go?
I think.
Well, we got
most of
Darren's.
it.
Lots of good things.
What's your favorite show you've been a part of?
Oh yeah, I love this. Adam jumping in with
Let
the
me
questions.
go back in the timeline of 50 plus shows I've been a part of.
That's impossible to answer.
There's so many.
Like
Is
For
it the big
different
ones or the
reasons.
small ones?
well, I think
Okay, what if it's the hardest one that you've ever had to do as a participant?
to be in, Mary Poppins is a pretty challenging show.
Oh my gosh.
We did that in 2015, and as you know, Mary Poppins is big. There's a lot of effects in it. I remember that show. I had way too many costume changes, but on top of that, I had set changes because
This is a
they always do
hilarious story.
the cast of set changes. So myself and Riley Beam, we both had I think I had 25 different costume changes in that show, but then we also had about 20 set changes we had to do. So there'd be moments where we run backstage, start changing our costume, run back to go do a set. So I'm half dressed, do the set change, go back off, finish getting changed, go on, do the dance, come back, do the set change, start undressing, go back on. So that was more challenging from having to be backstage, even though I was in the show.
Right.
But it makes it so fun because you're so busy. I hate just sitting around and being like, I want to, I like just keeping busy, and it gives me something to do towards the show. But that was challenging in the fact that organizing backstage I would start getting changed here. We had a 2-story house on stage that was like a pop-up book that opened and closed. So we would be responsible for that. Yeah. And then go get changed for this next one. I played 10 different parts in that show.
That's what you end up remembering.
Fun. Yeah.
It's challenging. It's hard at the time.
I don't remember the stuff that was easy.
Yeah. But do you can you answer that question?
I can't, honestly. I'm not just saying that. There's so many moments and so many shows. There's shows that start off where I'm not really thrilled with that show. I didn't like the music, and by the end of it, it's I love that show.
Yeah.
And there's just something about our people being involved, hearing our kids sing it, our families sing it. It just sounds so different. Yeah. And, there's...
Descendants was a unique experience because that was our first show
back from COVID.
Coming out of COVID. Yes. And we haven't done a large scale show in 3 years almost. And there was a lot of changes within the organization too that we had to adjust with. So we were in a new rehearsal space, and then it was a staff that was my first large scale show directing. Our choreographer Riley, that was she's done a few, but it was a staff that it was mostly all
it was a new beginning
alumni, and it was a new beginning for us because we all went through the program. So it was us in this new space, kind of this new step, and not knowing what our turnout was going to be, how the show was going to come together, and then
if it was going to get canceled because of COVID.
Because everyone was sick, and there was a lot of things, and then when we finally got that first show done, and I remember just looking at Maggie, our vocal director, and Riley, my choreographer, and because the three of us grew up doing theater together, and I just looked at them and I hugged them, and I started getting emotional because I was we did it, and seeing the reactions, it was this, we all came together, and I think that's the great thing about this program too, is that everyone wanted to make it work, and we did, and it was such a great experience. But that was a challenge there because there's so many times are we going to get the show done? Are we going to be able to do it? Where are we going to rehearse? Where are we going to build our set? Where our costumes are going to be? But everyone just pulled together, and it was
that was my first time producing a big show. We lost a very key member of our organization in 2021. She was a founding member, and she was the one that produced all of the school shows for 20 plus years. And so having lost her, she died in December of 2021. And that was a really big challenge, I think, for all of us too, because we were all trying to figure out, so what are the things that that she just knew how to do that were in her head, and we had to figure it out. And then coming out of COVID, it just seemed like it was one punch
Yeah.
after another. And Darren's right. Like, I think that first show.
But you survived, you broke the
yeah.
ice, you made it happen.
And then the last show, it was an overwhelming feeling of, okay, we did it, we're back, and we
And we've just kept like just the turnout, because children haven't had that theater experience in
Yes.
years. So there was kind of 3 years of no one had anything, and then we kind of see this new age of children wanting to do it. So now it's this overwhelming response of even, and when we did Matilda for the family show in the fall,
Yes.
that was the largest turnout that they've ever had for a fall show, because not only the children but the adults saw,
And a lot
and they
of
were
teenagers,
missing,
right?
and the
A lot of
teenagers,
teenagers,
who missed that last few years of doing their kids show, is
Yeah.
they saw that and they just, you know, for me too, I missed being on stage, so I was so excited to do a show as well. And you know, and now the summer program too is full with a large wait list that people want to do this, and it shows that we're not slowing down at any point.
That's beautiful. Well, like I said, your organization has an amazing reputation in town. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's well deserved and earned. And off to the next 25. Go support this gala event happening on June 22nd at the Best Western. It's happening all day. There's things to sing to, but there is a dinner as well that's very special. And thank you both for coming in and
so much for
sharing this
having us.
information and getting it out there. And, you know, we're just really happy that there's all these happy thespians in town doing what they do, which is bring the love, the light, the laughter, the tears, all the emotions, because we love it all.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Richard.
Take care.
Great.
See you soon. Thanks for joining.